All right, Kipsters, for our last practice of the week, we are actually working on a skill that we worked on so many times throughout the school year, which is determining the theme of a narrative. But this time it's a poem. So just like we can find the theme of a narrative looking at the beginning, middle, end, and then coming up with the lesson, we can do the exact same thing with a poem following very similar steps. All right, so I'm going to reread the poem one more time for the week. Two sisters. The chlorine smell, an echoed splash, another Friday at the pool. My old sister is about to smash another diving record for her school. So, my beginning situation, sister is about to break a record. Continuing to read. I smile but hold back my sighs as I cheer for her from the stand. I see myself through her eyes, the little sister, meek and bland. All right, so what do I get for my second stanza? In the middle of this poem, I have the narrator feeling less than her sister. All right, continuing to read for my ending. But I'm wrong, though, because one day, like a comet shooting through the night, my sister stops me just to say, it amazes me how well you write. So in the end, the big sister actually complements the narrator's writing, which is something really new and really different than what usually happens between them, because the big sister is the one who usually shines the most. Last stanza. My sister is the star, and yet she envies something about me. I now look twice at those I've met. Some talents are harder to see. This last line kind of sounds like a lesson. Some talents are harder to see. So in this story, we have the big sister who is a really great diver, but then we also have the narrator who's actually amazing at writing. One is a little bit more seen than the other, and this is something that the narrator has to learn because initially, if we look back at that second stanza, she feels meek and bland or less than or weaker than her sister because of this comparison. So, what is the main theme of the poem? A, everyone shines in his or her own way. I would say that is my best answer. Looking at the other three answers, I would say the closest one to our theme would be D. The narrator's talents are not as visible as her sister's talents. But this is where I would ask you to raise your hand and say, what is the reason why D cannot be my answer? Why is it a half answer? And someone would raise their hand and say, it's because theme is universal, meaning it should be something that can be applied to all of life and it cannot have specific names or specific situation. So, A, everyone shines in his or her own way, is my theme of two sisters.